Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. It is episode 8, and this is the first one we're ever doing in VR chat. We have Tiber and Callenia, the hosts of the amazing event Friday Night Dance Party. Welcome. How has your guys' day gone so far? Out of like 10?
Out of 10? Pretty average, pretty average.
Pretty
Just,
average day, pretty average day.
working the job and
I'll give it an 8.
Solid 8? Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
A solid 8.
that's better than my score.
Oh.
Tiber's around like a 5. Tiber's like, it was pretty mid. It was alright.
It was whatever.
It was whatever.
Better now.
Better.
Yeah.
Let's go. So kind of the first topic I wanted to really jump into is how did Friday Night Dance Party become an idea and how did it more or less start?
Well, we've only been in VR chat probably for about a year and a half, a little right around a year and a half, probably that's more accurate, not a year. And one of the first things we found in the pug one time, just randomly world hopping one weekend, I believe it was, is we stumbled upon a Mandalorian who was DJing and had it was a dance floor. It was probably about half the size of this, but it was right here. And he was doing the same thing. He was playing music and he was just having a good time. And there was, people showing up and really being blown away by it. We stuck around for as long as he was around, and eventually he disappeared, and the night ended, and we turned in, and it was just something that really stood out to us, and we kind of sought to find it again. So we world hopped and did a bunch of stuff in between, and then one day we stumbled upon Lil Cage, who was playing music in here, and I learned that him and his fish buddies kind of danced around on Fridays. And so we started coming in and around them and hanging out. And I was like, this is really cool. We should keep doing this. This is fun. And I just out of the blue, I made this sign and I had it on a different kind of toggle back then where I could position it manually and then, toggle the world placement, but the issue with that was that it didn't have late joiner sync, so sometimes people would see the sign in the wrong place.
Okay.
Once we were like, this is actually a lot of fun, I want to do more, I want to make more for it, I started building more, and I figured out how to do world placement permanently so that everybody always sees it in the correct place.
Mm-hmm. And I've heard from even Kalina and other people that you took a measuring tool and stuff. You said you measured out everything for this space, and then that's where you figured out how to put everything.
Yeah, so I used in Unity, I made basically I think it was a 10-meter long stick, if you will, that had 10 dashes on it. So it was every meter, and then I kind of positioned it in here and was able to use that to really just fine tune where everything was.
It's very cool. And everyone has a blast at Friday Night Dance Party. If anyone here watching is wondering, Friday Night Dance Party every Friday.
It's 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST, 1 a.m. BST. I could be completely wrong here, so not something to quote me on, but
time zones are very
Tony
awkward.
is the reason he informed me the correct time zone to use.
Okay. That's pretty great. Honestly, going off time zones, I've met so much people from all over VR chat. That's the great thing about VR chat. You can meet pretty much anyone. I mean, I have an Australian friend that's 17 hours ahead, and that's pretty crazy.
That's so much.
Yeah,
Makes it hard to connect, but it's so cool to meet people from all over the world.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's you could be 1 a.m. your time, and then it's in the afternoon for them, and then the next day or something. That's crazy.
Yeah.
They're in the future. It's so cool.
Yeah, you just traveled, right?
Yeah, I was 16 hours ahead in Japan. It was very fun. Very cool.
Yeah. So you were in the future.
In the future. Yes. I was so jet lagged for a week. I mean,
That's hella fun.
For time zone wise, when you come back from Japan, it's you're a day behind. So when I was a day behind for a week, I was staying up until 5 in the morning because it's the next day there 9 or something, or it's something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's hella
And
fun. Did you have a
yeah,
lot of fun?
I had a lot of fun. Kind of going off Japan and kind of like the culture and everything, and like going to like, do you guys watch anime or not really? Or like, do you guys watch or do you guys
No,
dabble in
we
it?
do. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay,
I
I ask a
enjoy
lot
like
of
the
people.
slice of life anime.
Oh, Timbers in the. Let's go. Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your
I
kind
like
of
me
guys'
some Lucky
like
Yep.
top
Star.
five? Or do you guys have more like a different top five list for each of
Ooh.
you? Or
It's probably slightly different with some being on the, some being the same.
hmm
You
Yeah.
you can go first.
Definitely ReZero. Huge fan of
oh,
ReZero.
one of the best isekais. Honestly, Flame Me, one of the best isekais. It's really good. Or no, ReZero. It's not really for everyone, but it's like
ReZero. Okay.
yeah, it's different. It's definitely like older.
Yeah.
I just like how the main character's
Yeah.
named
There's a little
named
bit of
after a
a
car.
a
It's
Subaru.
really stupid.
Let's go. I have a Subaru.
Let's go.
Other ones like Lucky Star, Nico Para. Gosh, Sword Art Online. I'm trying to like think
Okay,
of all
can
the
we touch
figures
on
that we
those?
have too.
Sword Art Online is decent. I'd say pretty decently controversial in the anime community, but it's very good in the fact of like the first part of the first season was really good, and then the second part you understand why it was there, but no one asked for the fact of Kirito's related to his sister and they had an Alabama thing going on and no one asked for it. But like on hey, you understand why it's
Kikyo.
there, but like no one asked for it. And then it's
Wait
also
a
that show, I
second.
think it's the origin of like isekai anime also because it was really ahead of its time. I feel like Sword Art Online when it came out in like 2012, but then also it kind of originated kind of like I think even just a little bit of like that harem genre where even Kirito is like he's overpowered type isekai and all the women flock over him because he has W wrist. like, like it's the origin of that or something. It's like crazy.
I would say it's definitely the origin of like the VR craze in anime because that
Definitely, or
shit's
like the
wild.
hype for it.
Mhm.
Everything is like
Yeah.
either VR or I died and went to a different world. It's it.
Or yeah, it
Was
really
it? I was.
popularized that genre. And I'd say it was a big step for VR
hmm
even back in 2012. This is in 2012, that was around the days of like Reddit, even when like before the Oculus Kickstarter and everything. This is before like all the huge
hmm
stuff.
Yeah, it definitely probably created a bit of like hype towards virtual reality as
Yeah.
well.
I know VR has been a concept for a while, I think since like the 60s, right? Or something like crazy like a long time, but then like not advanced
I
VR
mean,
kind of
even
what
when
we
I
have.
was a kid,
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, even when I was a kid, arcades had like, the minimalistic VR headset that, was strapped to the giant machine and you had to
Yeah,
like
no,
pull
or
down
yeah,
over
no, the
your
huge
face
ones
and
that
you could
were
like do
connected to
stuff with
everything,
it.
hmm
and it would like they would have to like bring it down or something. It was like a whole rig.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes because
Yeah.
where it's been and what we've done with it has been really exciting and
yeah, and this is just
we've
over the
loved
course
every
of
minute of
like
it.
10, maybe 10-ish years. Imagine what happens in like 10 to 20 years of how fast technology is going right
Mm-hmm.
now.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Like even like I'd say my generation grew up with the iPhone, but that was like how fast that's developed in 10 years and how fast technology is going
hmm
at this rate of like even with, like Tesla electric things and solar and how society is just like taking technology and like creating something new out of it. Same with VR or even like it's gotten I feel like to a certain point of huge to where even Apple's like I want a piece of that. Samsung's like I want a piece of that. Let's get part of this. This is becoming pretty huge.
Yeah, a lot of them just need to take like a solid step into it and make something impressive and stop
Yeah.
pussyfooting around and
hmm
thinking that it's like something to dabble in and not just dive into. Because if it was truly like dove into, I think they could create something really cool. There's
Mhm.
obviously a lot of potential here, and we have the technology to keep making it cooler and cooler.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. It's kind of the thing where, like you said, it's something where you have to, I think, full-fledged, like, have to commit because I feel like a lot of companies are like, oh, we could do this as a side project. I feel like you really can't. I feel like you have to really, like, have a team and, like, you have to really, like, invest your time and know a lot about it for it to succeed or for your product to succeed about it. Because you have to know what the consumers want. Because
hmm
that's the thing about VR. It's a lot about not really what, kind of like the companies kind of sort of want for marketing, but it's also what it's really you're trying to cater to what people want in a VR headset, want for their experience. You have to kind of
Yeah.
know kind of that like realm.
Mm-hmm.
And when stuff comes from, like the big companies and such, it really does feel like they don't spend time in VR and understand what works and what doesn't work and
I
that
really
sort
want
of
to put an
stuff.
example out there for that.
There's only a handful of really good games in VR.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's more and more as time goes on, but there's
Yeah, of
only
course.
like a true handful of really good titles.
Yeah, same with like VR
You end
chat
up
or
spending more
even-
time in VR chat.
Yeah, of course. Or like physics and stuff, how you like phase through stuff for like game physics or also like polygons and just like the whole
Mhm.
array of things of like you create a game, for example, but you don't know like how you've always created like flat games for like screens and stuff, but how the VR is at 3D and everything of like, for example, one of my VR friends or VR guy, he's like, you have to figure out how this is placed, how someone's going to interact with this thing, and if they're going to phase through it, and it's like all this like things where you wouldn't have to realize that for a flat screen game, and it's so much more factors. Yeah.
Yeah. I've done, this amount of developing for VR, and I've also built a small shooter in VR. It wasn't complete or anything, but there's definitely a lot more to think about, and you can see that when you just play games too. You can tell that you easily notice, hey, I stuck my arm through this wall, and if I drop my gun out there, it's gone.
Or
It
how
takes
like
a lot of TLC.
So
even like some worlds there's like a quote secret spot even though it's not supposed to be there because you could totally just jump over and like get to the spot.
yeah, and even using like play space movers, there's no way to like, I guess, moderate that in some games for cheating, because
Mhm.
I feel like I have heard that some games have actually, like gotten it not to work or whatever. I could be completely wrong there too, but play space moving is an easy way to cheat, obviously.
Kind of touching back on like how big companies are getting more into VR on what's your kind of thoughts on new Apple headset, the Apple Vision Pro?
Without like actually using it, I don't have too many. I think it's great that they've stepped into the VR industry or AR, VR, XR industry because it's only going to push everything forward more.
Yeah.
As people use the SDK for the Vision Pro and actually start developing stuff for it, I think there's gonna be a lot of really cool stuff that happens with it. I think it's a really cool headset. It has a lot of great specs, and I from what I've heard, through the few videos I've watched and the news that I've read, it seems like it's decently priced for the specs it has. Obviously, it's not
if you really
consumer
think about,
priced. But
yeah, they were totally not going for something consumer. I mean, if you really think about what they're competing with, they're totally competing, and Apple was like, "Oh, let's go straight for the enterprise headsets." That's what they're competing with, Varo,
yeah, exactly.
and like all those companies. They're not competing with consumer headsets, at least of yet. I feel like Apple is definitely going to challenge eventually, Meta with the title of "I want to be the biggest VR company," because Apple is pretty greedy on the fact of they want to be the biggest in everything. Zuckerberg's been pushing this idea for a while of we need consumer VR headsets. We need to price them low. We need to get more and more and more and more people in VR as soon as possible. Because I think he knows and other companies know that they want to be the top dog in VR. But then other companies like as huge as Apple, like Apple's the biggest company out there, like they're really gonna like really push this huge headset out there to get more attention on it. And then they're really going to attack Meta on the front of we're going to create a better headset with better specs for cheaper.
I think, sometime down the road, we're going to see something. I don't know if it'll ever be cheaper because we all know Apple. That their shit's never
I
cheap.
wouldn't say cheaper.
Cheaper than the Vision
that's kind
Pro,
of stretching
probably,
it because
but
knowing
cheaper
Apple, they like to
than a
overcharge
Quest
for everything.
3, that won't happen.
Well, no, yeah. Apple,
But they do have, the cult following of people who would be willing to spend, probably $1,500 to $2,000 on something. I don't
totally
know how. Well,
diehard Apple users.
Apple users are so diehard. It's crazy on the fact of you already know people are going to buy the Vision Pro just because it's an Apple product and they want the Apple product because they're a diehard Apple fan and they're like, I will spend $3,500 on this headset because it's an Apple product. even though I don't know what the hell VR is.
That's literally an index and a full build of a PC. Like,
That's a pretty
one
good
price.
specs computer right there and a Valve Index setup right there. 3,500 is a lot of money.
Yeah. Oh, the big screen beyond.
Oh, let's get into
I
that.
want
It
that
looks
so
so
bad.
good. It's so small. It's so cool. I think it's like,
yeah.
I'm so on the verge of just buying it, pre-ordering it
I
because
know a lot
it'll
of
help.
people
I'm
do.
sure with my headaches and migraines that I get from having the
because of the
headset
pressure of
strapped
the
to my
Valve Index
face.
is around, even though it's very well balanced, it's still 2 pounds on your head. That's 2 pounds,
Yeah.
pretty much with the Valve Index.
It's a lot of pressure.
But the
Yeah,
Beyond,
and I've always
it's so
wanted
light.
that visor style, and
Oh.
that looks
It's
so
like
nice.
it's like almost like wearing like glasses because it's like ski goggle style, but like
Yeah.
it pretty much is ski goggle style because it's so light and you just have a little strap on it.
The only thing I wish it had was some form of pass-through, since it doesn't there's no
True.
light leak, and you can't look through like the nose is how I, everybody looks through the small nose hole to find their bearings sometimes. Just
honestly do
having
that
a
too much,
like
too.
quick pass-through to see, having a quick pass-through to see what's going on would be nice, but I understand.
My kind of thoughts on the Beyond are, I know I've heard a lot of complications with the glare, but even the CEO Deshaun said they're fixing it, and on release, the glare issues with the lenses are going to be fixed, which is really good.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
apparently that's what
Yeah.
the CEO Deshaun was like. We're really pushing to like get the glare issues on these like OLED or lenses with the OLED and to fix it so on release it's like a perfect product, which is really cool on how it seems like a company actually cares about people that are buying a product and they're trying to make it good for
Yeah, and it could
Yeah.
be my my own ignorance or naivety in not paying attention, but big screen making a headset kind of surprised me, and it being this awesome is great.
kind of what along his words of he said they created this headset out of a passion for he wants something that he could use in VR for hours at a time, like working or something really light. And he's totally like it is a enthusiast built headset for enthusiasts by enthusiasts is kind of what he said. Yeah.
Yep. I love it. I love
Which
the
is
concept
amazing.
of it. I don't know if
Yeah.
I love it yet.
I mean, for what we heard
And the
and for
fact
what
that
I've
you can
seen, I
mold it
haven't
to your
tried it,
face.
but it looks great.
Yes, it looks very good. I'm excited to eventually give it a try, or whatever tries to outperform it or do better than it. I'm excited for
It's
that
very
too.
cool on that concept because it's literally just a display. The Beyond is just a display. It's the concept of whatever needed to run PC VR is totally done by the PC. The Valve Index is still so heavy and chunky because it has all this stuff in it still, but it doesn't need that because one, it's a PC VR headset and it's ran by your computer. So what if you slimmed it down? Just nothing.
Yeah.
That's what the Beyond is. Just a display that connects to Steam VR, which is a great concept.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope Steam takes like some notes there and really does try it. If and when they make their next index, if you will.
Index 2, Valve Record, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell
Something.
comes out next, let's hope it has a similar form factor.
Yeah. I mean, even kind of what he said and what's very interesting, if you notice the kind of progression of VR, the more, and even what Deshaun said of, the more VR has gone on, the more bigger the headsets and the more sensors it has, which is a whole different market, he said. There's a whole market for that of like bigger headsets, wide field of view, more sensors, which is a whole market, but then also there's no market for comfortable VR, smaller headsets, which is what they wanted to achieve, which is great.
Yeah, and I'm sure there is a market out there for that. I mean, I want it. I would prefer comfort over an extreme field of view, as long as I get
chunky headset. Yeah.
Because that shit would give me a headache, in an hour or two, and I'd have to hop
I've seen
out.
people's reviews.
Friday night lasts 5 hours. I can't do that.
It's like Friday Night Dance Party. I'd be surprised if someone was here running a Pimax 8K fucking Hammerhead headset. Fucking, it's massive. It's like 3 pounds. Yeah.
That would be
These things are
insanity.
huge.
Like trying to dance in FBT with a Pimax headset. I'm like, no, thank you.
Way too much weight on your head. You do like a hair
some neck
flip or
problems.
something,
That's
and you
some
break
future
your
neck
neck.
problems.
And your headset.
Yeah. Are you still using a Quest 1?
I'm still on my Quest 1.
And that's just, like, that's heavy itself, too.
It's heavy itself because, I mean, it's all the battery and everything in the front. But the Quest 1 is around 500 grams, which is around a pound, which is still a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot for being, I really want to touch on this, for being in VR, for example, 6 hours. That's over time weighing down on your forehead and putting more pressure over time. But if you wear it for like 1 to 2 hours, it's fine, which is what I feel like Zuckerberg and all these companies are focusing on. They're like, oh, Quest Pro, oh, this thing's so comfortable. You wore it for 30 minutes and tested it for 30 minutes. If you wear it for 5 hours, it's not comfortable. Same with the stock head strap on the Quest 2. Yeah, no, literally, Zuckerberg's excuse. Just get better. Like, what do you mean get better? It's like the stock head strap on the Quest 2 is so doo-doo. It's like, bro.
It's so bad. I hate that one. I tried 2 different straps for that as well, or actually 3. I believe I tried the typical Elite strap on that one, and that one was fine until it did break like everyone's did. And then I tried like the Bobo VR head strap, and that one was great. It just it pressed on my head on 2 pressure points, so I would also get headaches from it. So then I switched to the Kiwi one, and that one's my favorite just because it's just been super comfortable.
Can we talk about how Kiwi's like actually killing the game? Like, it's so crazy. Like, Kiwi's making all the fucking like accessories for everything. You already know Kiwi designed like their whole marketing team's fuming at the mouth of the Quest 3. They're like, accessories go.
Oh yeah, we were using retractable fucking dog leashes to hold our cables up, and I just switched to the Kiwi setup because it's much better.
Pulley system. I saw the pulley system for Kiwi. It's pretty cool. I eventually want to set one up for this.
They're nice and strong. Holds the cable nicely.
Is it easy to set
We
up?
only bought one setup, and it's holding. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
There's screw in the wall hooks, and then there's like stick to the wall hooks. So no matter what, you take the retractable thing and just put it on the hook, and then put it around your cable. It's pretty instant. I put it up in like less than 5 minutes. I just had to think about where to put the stuff was probably the hardest part.
Yeah, honestly, I think I might just invest into a pulley system like the Kiwi one, because honestly, like, I've gotten so used to just one cable of the fact of like I could like move around. The only thing is I have to kick it every once in a while because it gets in my way. But I've gotten used to that.
We dance so much that we can't have the cable down. Like, she would get it around her foot. We actually had her cable down, and we were trying to like route it a little bit, like keep it on the side by putting something over it so that it wouldn't like pull too close. But even that didn't work, so that's why we upgraded and got the pulley system, and that works great.
It's so much better.
Even with
we can
Vive
spin
trackers,
and stuff too.
Looks super good. Have you guys seen the new Vive trackers? Oh my god.
The ones that track
The
themselves?
camera tracked ones.
Yeah. Those ones look awesome.
If
There's not
those
too
are
much
the
information
same
though, is there?
as base station tracking, it's going to be a game changer.
Oh yeah. That's super exciting. If they work that well, I could see myself, going base stationless just because there's no reason to have them.
I know a bunch of people that are like, oh, my base stations are reliable enough and my track, like, fair. Totally valid. But honestly, fully wireless VR, honestly, is some sort of the future. And that's going to be crazy on the fact of just being fully wireless. These work with any headset that connects to Steam VR. That's insane.
I do think we'll eventually get IMUs to the point that they're the best tracking, potentially. I don't know if that can happen. I don't know enough about tech. But IMUs are probably the most, how to say it? They make the most sense for VR because they could be like fit into clothing, they could be fit into your shoes, and then exactly. You can cover up, you can lay down and put a blanket on. Like, I think that stuff all makes the most sense, and when you're in VR, you want those luxuries. Like, you're watching a movie, you kind of want to put a blanket on, but then you have this setup going on, and yeah. I
really hope IMU tracking gets to that point.
It would be really nice because I would love to be base stationless and also not have to worry about occlusion or anything like that.
Yeah, I honestly think I will eventually invest into an IMU setup when that technology eventually gets here. But from what we've seen from a thrill video with the new Vive trackers, the basic test of putting a blanket over cameras and seeing if it still tracks, it worked pretty well, kind of. But the thing is with the camera trackers is they need a light to see. If there's no lights, then they can't track. That's the one downside. But if you're ready, for example, that's what wireless VR is
Well,
for.
you
For example, with the Quest headsets, as long as you're running a headset, those are light tracked. It's fine with those.
yeah,
Yeah.
you could just you could just get a strong IR source, right?
True. I've heard like really crazy stuff with that, or like the IR stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I've used the Quest 2 as like a night vision headset with a really strong IR flashlight. You can see miles with my shit.
Mm-mm.
It's crazy. Pitch black, and you can just shine my flashlight. No visible light to our eyes, but in the headset, you can see plain as day.
Ghost hunting.
Honestly, I think I need to get something like that because I still play with my lights like really dimmed to the point I've tested it to the point where it's like dimmed enough to where it's still I get decent tracking.
Yeah. We sometimes play with our lights off, and that's not an issue with the base stations.
Oh no, it's not an issue. It's just the fact of like it would be nice to not bother people at 2 in the morning yelling in VR chat with your lights on. Yeah.
True facts.
Totally I don't do that. I'm not I kind of do that.
No.
We stomp around at 1 a.m. in the morning on the second floor of an apartment, so
I'm sure our neighbors love us. They've probably loved us for a year now.
Oh, this is great.
one day they'll just be cruising through YouTube and they'll just hear this and they'll be like, "Oh shit, that's what was
They're
going
like, they're
on."
like, oh god, it was these people that were my neighbors on top of the next floor. VR is it's so exciting for where it's going, but also kind of like the origin of VR and what like people have done for the community already is crazy cool.
Oh yeah.
And what
Yeah.
people have worked on, like one of the concepts I thought was really cool, which I hope doesn't actually become a thing, but when Palmer Luckey was like, "Oh, let's try to create a death headset and see if it can actually work," right? And he achieved it, but he's like, "This is still not. It's still too expensive, impractical, and we don't want this to become a thing because that's just SAO all over again. Like we don't want this to become a thing." But yeah,
Yeah.
but it could work. He did it with a Quest Pro headset, but that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Oh,
That man is absolutely
passion
crazy
to the
when he
brain.
experiences.
Let's go.
Yeah. No, but it's like, I mean, the immersion factor we want, just not the death in the game part, please.
Die in a game,
You
die in real
Die
life.
in real
God
life.
damn it.
Oh,
That's the stay alive quote.
this is just it's the whole
No.
VR thing too. Like kind of how it talks about like SAO really like put that shtick out there of like we're playing VR chat. You always hear that
Yeah.
one joke every once in a while. It's like you die in the game, you die in real.
Yo. It is such a concept. Except for ReZero. Motherfucker just dies and doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Dies,
yeah.
remembers
comes
all of
back.
it and comes back with trauma.
Like, this poor guy.
This poor guy goes through so
Trauma
much.
and EXP.
Subaru doesn't deserve all this. He's just a guy. He's just your average guy.
Just a rando. Doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, he really just seems like the
Important.
average guy that's just like trying to vibe, and then he's just going through all this. Do you guys watch rom-coms? Not really.
I mean, I'm a fan of rom-coms, but we haven't watched them in.
You down for
quite a
some good
while.
rom-com recommendations?
Ooh.
We're down for any content recommendations.
Oh yeah.
There's one, Kaguya-sama Love is War. It's a really good rom-com.
Oh
Very good.
yes.
It just finished too.
Oh yeah,
So it's-
we
it's
watched
fully-
that.
I love
Haven't seen season
Chica.
2 yet, but we've
Yeah,
watched
Chica's
season 1.
Chica's that one character from Kaguya-sama. Honestly, I started watching the show too because of the Chica dance. Everyone knows the Chica dance. It's from one of the it's
Everyone.
actually it's from one of the the outros from one of the It's like the first 3 episodes, but it blew up and became a meme. Like that's how everyone knows about it.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
So we first learned about it through Beat Saber. We played that song in Beat Saber, and
Saber?
we're like, "What the heck is this from?" And then we discovered the anime and then watched it, and that
Have you guys watched all of it?
I feel like
or
that
most
really
of it?
kickstarted it. We
Just
haven't watched the
season 1.
second season yet.
Oh, okay. Second season and third season, it gets really good.
Okay.
Good
Yeah.
to know.
We'll
have
pick
to
it
watch
back
it.
up.
It's pretty good. I do understand why people think it's kind of repetitive at first, but I feel like it's kind of going for that. You know, it's like, oh, this is the thing, and then it kind of keeps going. But then it does pick up, though, in the second season. I feel like it's really trying
Oh,
to
yeah.
put down
Well,
what
that's
it's
where
trying to
we
put
are,
down,
so-
though, in the first season. That's why it's a little repetitive.
Yeah, I could see that.
Who's your favorite character from what you've seen so far in that show?
I would say Chica, personally for me,
Chica.
just because she's so like her
She's so
personality.
bubbly and like
She's
energetic.
a goofball. Uh-huh.
I often like
Yeah,
sometimes in
I
VR get
agree.
compared to that character.
I definitely prefer the goofy, silly characters that
Mhm.
just kind of make the show fun. I mean, that's probably
yeah,
why I
like
like
the
Slice
comedy
of
relief
Life and
characters are
stuff
good.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. The comic relief characters are always great.
Even for like like horror shows or horror movies are like, oh, there's always that one comic relief character, but you already know they're gonna die first. That would be me.
Oh yeah, they
That
out.
would totally be me. I'd just be like the loud, like, oh my god, this is gonna happen, and then you already know it's the side character gonna die. Though.
Signing your own death wish here.
I
Are you
would
the
totally
first
be
one that's
that
gonna die or
character
the
though. Like I
last?
could totally see that. Like I don't think in a horror show at least, I don't think I could like be the main character.
Oh, that's funny.
They're so serious though often. Like in horror shows, it's like the main character's always like so like zeroed in on like that like end goal type thing. I'm not like serious at all, so I'd totally be that side character.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's a little much.
Yeah,
Little
I'd definitely
much
be
for
a
something
side
too
character
serious.
as well in a horror.
What's your guys' thoughts on like horror films, shows?
We watch them sometimes. As a kid, I was a total a little bitch. I didn't like the shit. I was scared. I was
Oh
a
my
little baby
God.
boy.
What were you kind of scared of? Like, what's the first
I
thing that
couldn't
really
I couldn't
scared
watch
you?
anything as a kid, but now we watch whatever and just kind of
I'm kind of
Yeah.
interested
enjoy
now.
it.
What's the first
We-
thing
we-
you say
we
that
stay-
like really scared you from like horror?
So,
For me. Go ahead.
got it
no,
all.
you go ahead. This is you. I watched more than you did.
Me as a kid? Oh, I
Mine's
don't know how
embarrassing.
old I was. I was pretty young, and I think it was either one of two things. Either it was The Ring or it was Scary Movie 3, which is probably the funniest thing it could ever be. Because I was a young child, and I remember walking into the room. My parents were watching the movie, and it was the very beginning where like they walked into the room, or that one person died, and their like head was all nasty.
The funeral parlor.
And it like fell off her body or something, and my child
Oh, no, but as a
shit was like,
child,
I'm
it's
not
like, you're
watching
gonna
that
freak
for
out at
hell.
that,
I
though.
don't want none of this.
Yeah.
But I don't even think it was that bad. It was just my child ass could not do it.
Yeah, it's just like the child brain doesn't really know how to react to that, so it's just like over exaggerate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, panicked, and it did not want to see it.
hmm
Mine was Freddy versus Jason, and like
Oh.
I was terrified to fall asleep at night because of Freddy Krueger.
Okay, now I'm scared
but
to
then
say mine because
afterwards
mine's
it was like,
embarrassing. Way more embarrassing than
Mine's embarrassing. What are you talking
no.
about?
You guys know the monkey from fucking Toy Story 3? That was the fucking that
Yes.
scared the shit out of me.
Yo, but
That
that's
thing's
understandable though. Come on.
No, that thing was staring into your soul. That thing fucking terrified the crap out of me. I was like, no. I had nightmares for like months. It was bad. I was like, no. It's so embarrassing.
no, oh no. I think legitimately my very first nightmare was of Beavis and Butthead as like a tiny child. I had never watched Beavis and Butthead, just only saw like commercials, if you will, and like my uncle was obsessed with it. But very first nightmare was just Beavis and Butthead in like this convenience store, and it scared the crap out of my child brain. And I never wanted to look at them.
Oh wait, another one that was kind of later is. Do you guys remember the Michael Jackson like one of the music videos where I forget the song, but it was like that music video when he was like turned into a werewolf.
Could be Thriller. I don't know any of the
It was
music
Thriller.
videos, to be completely
Yeah, it
honest.
was Thriller.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but yeah, no,
I
that
watched
scared the
the
crap out
video
of me.
to learn to dance.
Oh, it's so cool though. The dance is so cool. You know those trends where it's like the dances were like really cool from some videos, and it's like you really wanted to learn it because it was like a trend. What was that one like? Oh, remember that one song
I know
that was really
one.
Soldier
popular?
Boy?
Like that one, but like also 10 years ago, how people did like this and then like that- what is that called again? It was so popular at one point. What the f- was that?
Okay. Was it the whip and nay nay?
Yeah, that one. It was like
That
popular like
one,
10 years
yes.
ago, but it was so popular.
Yeah. Back
Yeah.
when we were, well, I'm gonna age myself here, but yeah, it was popular when we were in college.
I was in elementary
College,
school,
it was just
Tipper.
everywhere.
Yeah, I know. I just aged myself.
You're not that old, okay?
They're called boomers.
Maybe.
Hey, you're
not.
not
that
you're not
old.
boomer status yet.
That's fair.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Butter, if
I
you're
mean,
listening.
we already know the
not boomer
the most
status.
based people in VR are the ones that are like 60 and still playing VR retired. Like that's so based.
Oh,
We
hell
love
yeah.
Ronin. We've had Ronin on here. I've had
No, we're
Ronin
not
on
there.
here.
But that is so cool to see.
That's
you know,
so based.
Oh yeah.
so
older
cool.
individuals, able to keep up, not keep up, but to be interested in stuff like this.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I've gotten my mom into VR before, and she really loved it. And
Yeah.
she currently has the Quest 1 that we have, so she has the same headset
Woo!
as you. Let's go,
She's one of the last ones left. There's not much of us.
right?
I looked at the Steam
There
VR
aren't
charts for
many.
last month. It went down by like 0.0%. Like there's like 1.8 left. We're declining, Cal. It's declining slowly. We're declining.
Oh no.
You're out of here. You
We're
gotta
declining.
persist. You gotta hold on.
I will be honestly, this is the really funny thing. If I really wanted to be the very last Quest 1 user on Steam VR, I'm pretty sure I could. Because the thing is, OLED panels will fail eventually. They have like panel failure eventually. So when this dies, I have to rip all the electrical tape off the deluxe audio strap here, attach it. My VR guy or my VR friend, he was like 12 minutes away, but he is for some reason 6, and I shit you not, 6 working Quest 1s. If I wanted to be the very last one, I could for a while. I have 6 Quest 1s left.
Heck?
I have 6.
Let's go.
Six
That's
back.
so many.
Insane. And they're quitting support.
Oh, they're
For
quitting
VR
it like
chat,
at the end of it.
right?
Oh, it already got quit for standalone support.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dang.
It was like June 30th.
Standalone Quest
Yeah.
VR chat's
Okay, but to be
outta
fair, I'm
here.
gonna totally roast the Quest
I mean,
1
you
here.
can still use it, but it
The
doesn't get
mobile
updated.
processor on it was so bad. VR chat was always laggy. Never play VR chat on a Quest 1. It was so bad. It was so
There's
stuttery.
no surprise there.
No, the processor I think was like, oh no, the headset's only 4 years old, but the mobile processor is like 6. I know it's like the Snapdragon 835, which is the same processor in the Samsung S8 or the Samsung 8, which is like how long ago? That's so old. That phone be old.
You're aging me.
You're not old, Tim. You're not. You're not old. You were totally around when the wait. What's those phones called with the Blackberries with the ball in the middle, and then you got the type on them, and they're really cool. And there was like a red one. With like,
Black.
I think
Was it
they were
just the
Blackberry phone?
BlackBerry?
berries. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a BlackBerry.
My brain was like PDAs? No.
It was with the typing one, and it had
In
like
fact,
a circle.
I had a flip phone.
Yo,
Same. I had a little Nokia flip phone.
do you guys remember when the iPhone first came out? That was crazy.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I remember when the Droid first came out to compete with it. I actually got the Droid, the one with the slid up and had the keyboard underneath it.
Oh, wait, that one was so cool. I've seen those.
The very first Android. It was a very fun little device.
Yeah,
I
and it had
loved
like the
that
little like
physical
screen
keyboard.
and then flip up and it
Yeah.
had like the typing and stuff and you would like type. Oh, so cool.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, those phones were fun. I had the
I
Xenon,
don't
the
know
Samsung
if I'm
Xenon
like,
that did that.
but also it's like I'm
Yeah.
really fascinated by like old technology or just like the origin of things.
Mhm.
Like when I got into VR, I was like, where did this medium come from and how did it like advance? Because it's so cool, and just like general tech things.
Now
Yeah.
they have computers on little like Switch-sized handheld.
Yeah, now we have the Steam Deck. Like where was that like 20 years ago with
Uh-huh.
the Game Boy? It's like that's crazy.
Yeah. I actually picked up the Asus Ally, which is if you
Oh, I've
have
seen that one.
heard
That
of
one's
it, it's
crazy.
just the Asus version of the Steam Deck, and it's really good. I like it a lot. There's a few, small nitpicks that I have,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
overall it works great, and it actually runs VR chat. I haven't gone into like a public lobby with it or anything like that, but
I've
it ran
seen
VR
like
chat, and it ran the LSM world, and it played a movie just
really
fine.
perfectly fine. Okay,
Yeah,
honestly,
perfectly
the
fine.
device might kill me, but I want to go into a 90-world pug lobby and stress test the crap out of it. I'm
I
so
definitely want to see if it can handle like a few people loading
I'm
in
so
with very
evil
poor
though, like to my
avatars.
technology. Like I'm like, oh, I have the most optimized settings for a Quest 1, but let's go into a 90-world plus lobby and see if I can survive. Like I'm so hard on this thing.
Try it at Friday Night Dance Party.
Oh no, yeah. Like I'm like people are like very surprised on how I live in VR with like big instances. But when I mean I have everything optimized to the max, I have everything optimized to the max to where I can run in huge lobbies, and it runs perfectly fine. I run around a solid 30 to 40 frames, even in big instances.
Oh yeah. Do you AirPlay
Yeah.
or you cable? You
I
cable
cable.
up?
Cable is
You
just the
said
most
you cable.
reliable,
Yeah,
and
I think you said that earlier.
yeah. I mean, I've
Yeah,
tried
it
Airlink
absolutely
once
is.
before, and it was so stuttery. I think it's because I didn't have like a router, but like cable's just cheaper in a way, even though if we're going even with the official cable, it's like $80, but then a router's 80
Yeah.
bucks, and then you have to troubleshoot all your Airlink things, and it's a whole nother
Mhm.
battle and
I
a
can
whole
I can confirm that having a good router helps
yeah, yeah.
Airlink work better. I've had a friend over playing via Airlink while we are playing. We've had three people in VR at once, and they were using Airlink, and we were doing what we're doing now. And they didn't have a single like lag issue because we have Wi-Fi 6 on the router, so
Oh
I
yeah,
believe
no,
that
it's
helps a lot
recommended
with
for
the
Airlink. It's
speed to
Wi-Fi
Airlink.
6. Like that's recommended.
Yeah,
Yeah, for a good
helps a
Airlink.
lot. I will confirm that.
Hmm. I mean, I bought a router. I mean, I wanted to try it with the Quest, but I was like, I'll just run cable for now. Like, I was eventually maybe gonna get like a Quest 3 or something, and I'll run because eventually really want to test a wireless VR setup. I'm gonna get the new Vive trackers, so I really eventually like
Yeah.
need a good headset and something to run wireless VR. But honestly, for the meme, for a very long time, maybe for the next like 2 years, if I can, I will piss people off by owning a Quest 3 and using my 6 Quest 1s just to piss people off.
I really don't mind the cable at all with the pulley system. It doesn't feel like it bothers me at all.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
This is so nice.
I mean, even just like as a display, like I love the OLED panel on this. It's just because everything's like so more vibrant and just like bright colors, but then like
Hmm.
you really don't notice it as much. Like, but when I used the Quest 2, it wasn't bad, but you could definitely notice the color difference.
Yeah.
And
When
it's not,
one of
oh,
our first headset was the Rift,
uh,
the CV1,
Rift CV1.
and yeah,
That was
we
a
had
good
two of
headset.
those, and it was a great headset. And the reason I know that is because we decided to stupidly upgrade to the Rift S from it, which was not an
That's
upgrade at all.
that's my
We still
cousin.
used them, but it was not an upgrade at all.
Oh, wait, no, that's my cousin. That's the
The
Quest 1's cousin. The Rift.
Oh yeah, it is. But the refresh rate dropped. Oh, and you could see it playing Beat Saber because you're shaking your head so much.
Oh yeah, Beat Saber's so fast paced. Like you're gonna see stutters and.
Yeah, and it made me so sad. But I got used to it, and then it was fine. And I just never plugged in the CV1 again because it would have spoiled me again.
I've met.
But then we upgraded to the indexes, and here we are.
To be honest, like I've kind of explained to people too, and if you really look at just the raw specs, the Quest one's not far off from the index at all, really. It's just the index has 144 frame support, higher resolution. Or no, not even higher resolution. It's the same resolution. It just has higher quality image output. And it's very like the colors are really well balanced on the index, but they're both 1400 by 1600.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know the specs myself. Like,
but yeah, no, it's crazy on how similar the specs are to me.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense though, I guess, because it did come out the same year. Index came out a little earlier in 2019, like pretty early, like mid-range 2019. The Quest 1 released later that year with the Rift S.
Yeah.
Dang.
That's so long
I forgot
ago.
when that actually came out.
It makes me feel old.
We were in college when the development kit for the Oculus came out, and somebody for their graduation project. Yeah, when we were graduating, they did a world you could walk through on the dev kit one, and that was my first experience with Oculus stuff, was putting on that headset at their graduation thing.
It's
and
so cool. Like I honestly,
going through the world.
From where we come from the dev kit 1, like I've seen what it looks like in the dev kit 2 because my friend has one in like a box just as a collector's item. It's so cool. But like from where Palmer Luckey just in general is a fucking legend. Like man started out of his garage with VR in high school. Like that's crazy. And he's like 30 now, and he's like a legend already. Like that's crazy on what he's done for the VR scene.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to say this, but like might get flayed, but like he's like the general like kind of range for VR age because it's around like you see it's around 20 to 30 is really like the most common people you like run into.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely around there.
Absolutely, especially on the PC VR side.
Yeah, like you go to the pug at night, that's the age range you're running into right there.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It gets a lot more rare to find people above like 35, I'd say.
Yeah, because I feel like it's crazy to say, but I feel like at that point when you're past like 35, you for the most part, I'm gonna call some people out here. Don't kill me, please. For the most part, you have your life figured out, and you have a job, and you have a life. For the most part, at like 40, don't kill me.
I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah,
and it's true.
It's
true. You know. No, you were saying?
I'm gonna get flamed.
No,
I know I'm gonna
get
flamed for that one.
In their lives,
I'm gonna get flamed for
like more than likely they have kids that they're dealing with too.
Yeah. Oh, I really want to touch on what you guys think about this too, because I talked about this with Will in the last podcast. But what's your thoughts on kids getting into VR and that whole like mess on like parents use it as an excuse of like, oh, but also there's like parents that shouldn't be parents type thing to where they're like very bad parents. And then they're like, I'm going to stick my kid in VR because it's a cheap babysitter. It's like, no, don't do that.
Yeah. It's like they went from tablets to VR.
Yeah.
It's,
well, anything with a screen that keeps the kid entertained is what's going to be put in front of them by parents that don't do a
or there's
do a
that
very
common
good
meme
job.
where it's like 30 more minutes of silence and they just give them a device. It's like 30 more minutes. It's like, don't know. Give your kid attention. It's like, be a good parent.
I don't know. Personally, it feels sad to me because, like, you want to see parents moderating their kids and you want to see parents that are, like, actually engaging with their kids rather than just putting...
Like, not, like, too overbearing
putting them off into...
Like, I feel like just, like, relatively moderating. Like, kind of just, like, please be safe on the internet. Don't do anything that you won't regret. But then also it's, like, don't be, like, overprotected and be like, this is blocked for you. You're using YouTube Kids. This is a thing. It's, like, just moderate what they're watching. Yeah.
Yeah, there is a happy medium, and your kid's gonna get away with shit. So you just have to figure out
curious,
where to like.
Though. It's just that like curious part.
You're not gonna stop it.
Yeah.
And they have friends that like
that influence them,
word of mouth and Hey, check this out.
Look, even if you're a good parent, your kid's best friend's parents are probably not doing the same thing, and they're
Yeah.
gonna have access to something, and they're gonna share it because that's what kids do.
Yeah, and
So,
honestly, it's
you know,
crazy on how
you just
much
have
kids
to.
know too. Because I know like
Yeah,
kids
so
that are like
early because of the
7.
internet and all that.
Yeah. No, because it's like they're exposed to all this now. Like this is just reality now, right? Of like tablets and devices. I'm gonna sound old for like 19 like even 10 years ago. We had the fucking like original iPod and it wasn't like this. And then now 10 years later fucking kids are on iPads and fucking at like 3 years old. It's like what the fuck happened in 10 years?
Everyone has a phone in their pocket that has access to any information. They can get on ChatGPT and do anything with it.
Ask it
Basically, at this
anything, ask the
point, it
robot
takes nothing. Takes
Yep.
nothing. No
There's
effort
no limits
anymore.
pretty much because you have so much power at your fingertips now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I remember
worrying.
not being allowed to have a phone until I was 13.
I remember that rule
Yeah.
too. I didn't get an actual
I
phone
turned
till like middle
13
school
and I
even.
got a phone.
I think I got my iPhone 6 when I was like in 6th grade, maybe. Before I was running
Dang.
the hand-me-down iPhone 4S, the first phone with Siri on it. I think it's so old.
Wow. You're
It's a
really
br-
aging me.
It's a brick. You're not
I
old,
used
guys.
the
What
phone on
you guys are not that old.
Singular.
You guys are not that old. Like for
Do
real.
you
like, come
remember
on.
Singular Wireless?
Yes, before it became AT&T.
Wait, what is that?
It's is the company before AT&T.
That's what they were before
Used to be
AT&T.
They had like a little orange dude who was like a little orange blob
Oh,
dude
wait.
with his arms
Yeah.
out.
I think I remember seeing a
I-
little
I-
something
I
on
was
that,
on
but I
that
don't remember
network.
much about it. Like I remember seeing a little something on it.
Wow. Singular. Wowzers.
Singular Wireless. Wow.
That was what my parents had
Aging
when
my
they had
ass.
their, like,
Let's go.
Brick Nokias with the
Nokias.
snake game on it.
Yes. The snake game. That was so
Oh
hype.
wait, can I tell you a story
Holy
about like just
shit.
old? So like when I was around like 5, my dad still had like a BlackBerry, and I'm a stupid child, so I was like, "Oh, cool, phone." I didn't know what it was. I accidentally typed in 911 and the police came. It was so
Oh,
stupid.
no.
It was so stupid. It was so bad.
Luckily, that usually doesn't cause anything bad.
Oh no, it
It's
didn't
just
cause any
it's
problems.
a no.
But ironically, do you know who showed up? So our friend works for the police station, and then he like was on duty. So he comes to our house with like a friend, and then he's like, "We noticed we got a call from your house," and I'm just like hiding. I'm like, "Fuck." Like,
Wasn't me.
Just like crawled under the bed, hiding from everybody.
yeah, it was pretty bad.
Kids do
I
way
was a
worse than
very
that.
curious
Luckily, it was
child.
just
Oh,
a
yeah.
silly little accident.
I know it's just the kind of things that all we're talking about is like, I can't really blame kids nowadays either because I was that kid. Like I was very curious. I wanted to know a lot of things. I wasn't really smart, but I wanted to know things.
I'm so glad I was a naive child.
I'm good, but then it was also kind of
I'm
bad.
so glad I played old school RuneScape.
Oh, let's
At the
go.
time,
Wait, that wait. Oh,
RuneScape.
wait. How was old school RuneScape? How was that?
I fucking love it. I still play it today.
It's so much fun.
I've heard it's so much grinding. The amount of grinding in like old RuneScape, and you like all the like different classes, and you like grind up your classes, and it's like, yeah.
Yeah, all the skills you definitely. It's a lot of grinding to get to max level. It takes a long time, but I've played for a long time, so I guess that helps.
Tiber has that
Yeah.
RuneScape experience. They're pro, RuneScape Pro.
Only has
Not
like
quite a pro, but
4 clients on one computer running.
I don't multi-box.
Not anymore.
I multitask super hard.
Okay, so this is
I
really
play,
gonna.
like, 3
I don't
different
think this
accounts.
is gonna age all of us, but so basically, Ronin is another person I had on here about a month or 2 ago, and they're 61. And I was like, Ronan, do you remember when Pong first came out? And he's like, oh god.
Luckily, that's not us.
We're
No,
not.
it's
We
it's
are
crazy
quite
ironic.
old.
Yeah, no, it's crazy ironic to where it's like Ronin's literally my father's age, 61, and he's playing VR. I'm like, that's so based. I'm like, Dad, get in VR right now. I'm like, I have a friend right here that's your
Yeah.
age. I'm like, get in VR, right?
That is so cool to hear.
Oh,
Again,
yeah.
I love seeing
No, honestly, I'm
older
gonna
people
invest my money.
experience this.
I'm gonna invest my money. I'm like, yo, Dad, you're getting a Quest 3 for Christmas. I'm showing you the ways. We're going in the VR.
Hell yeah. All
I
my
feel like he
mom
would
wants
like
to
it
be in
too.
VR more is a lighter headset.
Yeah, I feel like he would like it too,
She
to an
doesn't like
extent
the
of
weight
like
on her face.
he loves socializing with people and meeting people. But what if he did that in VR chat in more adult worlds, of course, of like just talking to, because yeah, that's really just the scene of like it's mostly like 20 to 30-year-olds that just want to chill, party, have fun, and that's like totally his thing. But like he doesn't know about this, like yeah. I feel like
Yeah,
he
I'm
could get
sure
into it
that
a little. But then it's gonna be my fault for getting my
I
father
feel
into
like a
VR.
lot of people could. They have a lot of I feel like a lot of people see the really cringy side, if you will, of VR chat, though,
Yeah.
because like all the actual information that makes it out there about this
Is
sort
the
of stuff
really
is
like
all
bad
like
stuff.
the bad side of everything.
Or no, it's like a
Nothing
lot of like
really
the
makes it
classic
out
part.
about the good side.
Yeah. Or no, the
The
classic part about
documentary was
VR.
like 2 parts okay, or 2 parts
Yeah.
good, 1 part what the fuck.
Yeah.
Or no, it's
Oh
often
my
like
gosh.
moments from like the Black Cat or like old VR from like 2 years ago to get out there is like just screaming children and people are like, that's VR. It's not all VR. There's so much cool other
No.
things.
Yeah, all the memes of VR are what, makes the most popular shit about VR are the memes, and if you see only that, you'll never experience,
wanna go here.
the really, really fun side of VR. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the people aspect is amazing. Like honestly, we've made probably some of the best friends we could ask for in VR.
And you meet so much cool people. Like I'd say this past 6 months for me has been a roller coaster of a ride. And it's just that fact of like being here, right? But then meeting people. Like I've met you guys, I've met so much people just exploring, having the pug to hang out with, going to, for example, shout out to the Trans Academy's great community. It's just all these little individual communities that you meet and the people you meet and the creators, the content creators, everyone you just meet. It's so cool on how much people enjoy being here. But the one thing that the VR medium does different, I feel like, than anything else is, for example, embodying a character that you want to be or like, because of so much people just in general are like, oh, like the internet and even Twitter doesn't help with this. I don't like what I look like. Instagram, I don't like how this person looks like. It's so insecure nowadays of like, you could just play a game and proportionalize yourself or just be whatever you want. You're tall. I want to be a small character. I want to be a tall character. It's like you could do anything with this, be creative with this medium. And it's so cool.
Yeah. It's super fun. When we got into creating our own avatars, it just, she's done a lot more in terms of just making her own, like, or getting different costumes, I guess, or different outfits, to put it more correctly. Because I usually don't do a whole lot, but it's a ton of fun to be able to express yourself, in whatever way you really feel like it. You like you said, you can just change it up when you want something different.
But also it helps people even with that topic of even just gender dysphoria, just anything. Even if in general you just don't know what you don't like what you look like, you just be something that you want to look like.
Yeah.
I wanted to be Miku. I'm Miku.
Yeah, it's like Rindo Miku combination cute. Like it's like this is it. This is the embodiment of it. It's like so cool.
Super fun.
And I
and
love
it's great,
kind of
like
just
you're saying, that
doing...
people can find some comfort in it.
Yeah, it's great. And also in general, I just love doing kind of what concept I have here of like even just putting it more in the VR, because this honestly just feels a little more very cool and more personal, because I could like, even with no full body tracking, I often talk kind of, I do this a lot. I like to move around.
You use your hands.
Yeah, and it's just a habit, but also it's so cool because I could be more, I wouldn't say more myself, because one thing that I felt like kept a good medium for myself and what the internet taught me, of course I've always been careful over the years, but I've always just been like, just be yourself no matter what. Like, don't let anything shape you or change you. And that's the one thing where I've always kind of stuck to. So what you see here, everything, how I act in VR, just anywhere, is just me. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's the way to be. I agree with that because putting yourself out there and being happy to be who you are is,
Yeah.
I don't want to say rare these days, but it's the way. It's a very positive outlook. It's a very positive way to be, and you don't see a lot of people able to find that sort of security in themselves, and so you really hope to see that, I guess, more often. It's really good to hear that you feel that way. It's awesome.
It's just like kind of like vibe wise or personality wise. I've always tried to keep it like that because it's just more like the fact of always like just being genuine feels so much better than just like lying and just hiding things away.
Yeah,
At least
and
for me,
it really is
'cause it's
easier
like-
to be genuine, I would think.
Like I feel like
You're not
even
trying
just
to think
along-
about things.
or just like trying to like create an elaborate like situation to where it's like not realistic is you're putting way more effort to that just being yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
A great way to think about it or to be.
Yeah.
Definitely not a lot of people have that mindset, and I feel like people just need
I
to be
mean,
a little more confident in themselves.
of course, it's along the lines of I've never always been like that. It's like you have to be more open, like to new things and open mindset to more. Everyone at some point in their life has been like more closed mindset and more like, oh, this is the norm. I'm gonna stick to this norm. This is what I've been taught. But then the more you learn, the more you open up, the more you improve, and the more you find more of yourself. I feel like too, and who you want to be.
Yeah. You definitely can't get stuck in the rut of doing the same things for too long. I mean, it's good to focus on some things, if you're like trying to become an expert at something or get good at something, focus. But you definitely need to keep an open mind and have experiences and not close yourself off to that, because otherwise you won't learn everything about yourself, first of all, and you won't learn everything about the world around you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, like, along the lines of just kind of that, it's just people when I feel like, are finally more, like, tuned to themselves, it's just they feel more comfortable and they finally can just be like, this is who I am. If you don't like who I am, this is like, just back off. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
not worrying about what other people think is very valuable. And unfortunately, I think too many people value everyone else's
like
opinion
someone's
a little
validation
too
or
much.
something. Yeah, a little bit. Or like they see.
Yeah,
they
you
even
shouldn't
seek it,
derive your
though.
validation
Yeah.
from other people's opinions of you. You should definitely have some
I
self-confidence.
feel like
It's
to an
super
extent,
important.
like for like sports, like this is a little off topic, but like for certain things, it's like good to build someone, like hype someone up, right? But not too much to where it like totally overpowers to the fact of like something like where it could become a bad thing. Yeah.
Yeah, everything in moderation is probably key. You shouldn't do anything too over the top to the point that, because anything can become bad at a certain point, I would say.
Yeah, like even just for VR, like breaks are inevitable. Like playing this game, I play this game almost every day, but then it comes to a point where it's like, oh, I'll take like a 2-day break, 3-day break, a week break, come back because I miss everyone. It's like breaks are good. You can't play this every single day and not go crazy, for example, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Oh,
you need to
absolutely.
recharge.
Yeah.
We're in here quite often just because of the stuff we do with the FNDP group, and we actually, the first Friday night dance party we missed was like two weeks ago, and we technically were there because we had the laptop open and my avatar was still there, but it was the very first one we missed, and while I didn't like missing it, it kind of sucked that we were missing our first one. Technically felt weird, felt kind of wrong that we weren't like there. It was really nice to take a break from it as well. It was good to get out because we were meeting up with some friends we've met in here, and that was an awesome experience as well.
Yeah, I feel like that's a really interesting
I'm not
experience.
complaining about anything at all. It's just it was weird to not be here, but it was also in the
It's
same
just that
vein as what you're
feeling of,
saying.
like,
Really nice to get
a
out of
new
here and take a
experience.
break.
But then taking that break is really well needed. Yeah, you don't realize it also kind of a thing where it's like till it actually happens too. It's like I needed this.
Yep.
Also, and kind of along the lines of like meeting people IRL from games, it's very cool on the fact of like the first time I ever done it. So I played a lot of Oh, I'm gonna get hit on the 13-year-olds by this. I played Fortnite, okay?
Hell yeah.
Who didn't play a lot of Fortnite when it was like pretty big? But like, the first person I ever met from a game was like from another state in the United States, and I just met up with him, and it was super cool because I was like, it's also the fact of you don't know these people are real, but that's also another topic I made from VR chat. It's like we're still socializing with avatars, but these are real people. These are real people behind these things. They have feelings. They're actually
Mm-hmm.
people. What my parents don't understand, or at least my mom doesn't understand, is go find real friends. What do you mean real friends? You're telling me these are not like real people right here that I'm talking to have emotions that are actually people behind the screen.
Yeah.
You know? It's like what
Hmm.
do you mean by real friends? You should rephrase to get more people like IRL friends, like more like real
Yeah,
people
people
that
you can
yeah,
be next to in real life.
yeah, in real
Yeah.
life,
Because yeah,
not
you
like
can you
yeah,
can 100% make real friends that are,
yeah.
long distance or
But it's also
VR
like
or
very like
online.
bad to say like go meet some real friends because your friends in the internet are not real. They are real people.
They are absolutely real.
Yeah. It's just the wording behind that's pretty controversial because yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I get it.
Oh yeah. Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's so
we
crazy
obviously stand in the
on
same room together, but
yeah.
like we're real people.
Yeah, it's like that weird question
I'm
of
no
it's like
AI.
it's like I think I'm real, right? Like you just like I think I'm real. I'm like here, right? It's like it confuses me every time with that one.
Have you ever had like that dissociation when you're in reality, but something happens that you think you're in VR, or like
Yeah, yeah, it's so
you
weird.
feel like you're still in VR?
Yeah. No, but also since I've experienced so much VR experiences and just like so much amazing things, it does feel like I'm here, just like in this world or just like here in actual like a virtual pub. But then also it's crazy the fact of where I go out in the real world now. Sounds so weird. I spend too much time in my room. God damn it. I still go outside. I still touch grass, I swear. Okay. I still go touch grass. I have to go to
You
school.
still
I
touch
still
grass.
work. I still touch grass. Okay. I do play a lot of VR chat, but like, come on. Okay. But it's just that feeling of where you interact with something IRL, and then it's like, am I in reality? Or it's so weird sometimes.
I feel like something I similar to that, maybe not the same, is where you just start to realize, or not realize, but for me it feels like a realization, or you think a lot, where you're like, well, shit, this. You start to think this could be a simulation
Yeah.
because if it's just a
Oh no.
super
Oh,
well done
okay. Can we really
simulation,
hit the
all of this
topic?
makes sense to
Yeah.
me.
No, we gotta really hit the topic of our lives are just a game. Our lives are a simulation. In our entire lives, we've just been living as an entire game. The one topic I love to always hit is if you look back at your entire life, tell me it couldn't be a full-fledged anime story. Everyone's life is interesting to where it could literally be a full story. Everyone's different. Everyone's life is different.
Could be
It could
some
be
boring ass slice of life about me. Yeah, sure.
literally like even someone that is like down horrendous, down like just like that could be a story. Like there's so much written stories that can go on with this. Like that's what's cool about it. But we are technically living a
Uh huh.
simulation.
Yeah, I don't think that you can't not define our reality as a simulation by a stretch. I think that
I see it
it's
as like a
simulating
game, not a
itself in and
simulation,
of
but like as a
itself.
game. Yeah, I don't know. Like my way of thinking is like a little weird to where it's like I map the way my brain works is I map things out of like how I want to play things in like a game. So it's like, oh, in a year from now, how do I see myself in 5 years? It's like, oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna level up. I'm gonna do this. I have this, or of how I'm gonna be 2 steps ahead of my parents. It's like you got to really like map out and like play it in a correct way. But that reminds me, it's like if I think about it that way, it's just a game. I'm like, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I think anything could be positioned as a game, I guess.
Hmm.
View it at, change your perspective on a lot of things, and you could pivot it to look like a game
the
in
the
any
anime
sense.
point is definitely a thing though. Everyone, you cannot convince me to where everyone's life is not interesting to where it could be an anime. I'd watch
If you
that.
watch the anime of
I'd
my
watch
life,
I'd
you'd
watch
probably get
anything
really
on that.
bored.
No, here's the title now, guys. Tiber
Lies
and
and
Callenia's
slander.
life. The anime.
Very, very big truths.
The Tiber and Callenia's life. The anime. This is a great anime. We gotta write this now.
I mean, it would be a great anime for
I think it'd be a hit.
its own
You
reason.
know, I think it'd be a
I'll be the
hit.
side derpy character. It's fine.
No, and then we got that arc. We got that love interest arc. You know, like come on, like it's totally an anime. Come on, you cannot.
Come on.
Do the funny.
We're anime now, right? Here we are.
Let's go.
I mean, yeah, we're windows. We're anime.
Is Rindo technically an anime character?
We've-
Kinda. Yeah.
We're out of real life. We're here, you know, all
We're here in
animated
the
out.
virtual.
So whatever. We reached our anime goal, I guess.
Let's go. Okay, I want to ask a really random question.
Here it is.
Throw it.
So if you just woke up one day, like if you like since you guys like live together too, what if you just randomly walked in and saw Tiber just as like an anime girl? What would be your reaction?
Yes.
I think Tiber would be more shocked to this, but
I mean, I would
Probably.
be shocked. I'd be like, what the fuck's going on?
No,
What the hell?
I don't know. I would definitely be very shocked. I'd be like, where did this come from? How did this happen? What did you do?
Tiber's like, I don't know, I just woke up like this. What the?
I don't know what to say. I'm all
What were
2D.
you fed?
What's some places that you guys always wanted to travel to? Like, is there any like specific like places you guys ever wanted to go or travel to in the future?
Well?
Unsurprisingly, Japan.
Yep.
But
Here we are. We're going in a couple months.
Let's go! Wait, actually?
yeah, yeah,
Huh?
we're going in September.
Wait, what cities?
We're going to Tokyo and Kyoto.
I was just there. I was just there.
Yeah, you were.
Wait, I gotta
Oh,
tell
yeah.
you
Have
the
any
okay.
recommendations?
Okay, over the next like month, we gotta. I helped my friend plan just Shane. My friend Shane just left for Japan, like on Monday, like yesterday. So I gotta help you plan
Nice.
on like good food places, where to go. There's this. Wait, you guys like fried chicken? There's this good really fried chicken place in like Akihabara, and it's like super good. It's like takeout fried chicken.
Yeah,
It's, like, so
you
good.
tell us anything
Yeah.
you know. Share with us
Yep.
all the information over Discord. We'd love to hear whatever you recommend because,
Oh my god.
That'd
you
be
know, we're going in
fantastic.
pretty blind. I mean, we know what we want to do in a general sense, but, you know,
What's the
we don't
general
know,
sense,
like,
though?
some of the
Like, go
more
to
unique
temples or,
locations.
like,
So
cool like countryside things or like
I think mostly just walking around the city, seeing a lot of, like, I don't want to say the touristy places, but we'll obviously see some of the touristy places.
Yeah.
We'll probably end up in Akihabara. We'll probably end
I
up.
mean, you're in Tokyo, like 30-minute train ride, and you're in
Yeah.
Shibuya. Like you're in like the whole like Shibuya
Yeah.
crossing
Yeah.
area. Like that's like the whole area. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we're gonna spend a
Absolutely.
week there and just explore everything, and then head over to Kyoto for a week and do that pretty typical first time in Japan trip.
Mhm.
But it should be a lot of fun. We'll just sprinkle out what we do.
Wait, when are you
We'll go
guys
to
going?
temples, I'm
Kind of
sure.
2
and
months from now. When's that ish? Is that fall?
We're going in September, late September.
Oh my! That is the best time to go. It's gonna be so beautiful there. It's like fall in Japan. The leaves
Is
are gonna
it?
start changing. Oh my god! There's one place you have to hit in Kyoto. It's
I'm so
so
excited.
beautiful in the fall. Oh my god! Wait, this is great. The planning's gonna be great. We got to do this. Oh my god! You guys
Hell
picked the
yeah.
best time
We'd
to
love
go.
to hear anything
It's
you
one of the
recommend.
best times to go because it's so pretty in the fall.
Have you been to Japan multiple times, or was this
I've been
past time your
once
first time?
before. It was around that time. I
Mhm.
was like 11 though. I remember bits and pieces, but
Okay.
Okay,
yeah, I was pretty young.
Well, that's awesome.
that's very cool.
That's
It'll
before
be her
my
first
my
plane
cringy
ride,
YouTube
too.
days. My
Yeah.
cringy, my
It's my
cringy-
first flight.
Wait, have you guys ever been on a plane?
I've never been
I
on a
have.
plane.
She
You've
hasn't.
never been on a plane? What?
Uh-uh.
Okay, we're gonna
Nope.
we're gonna describe plane rides. It's very very chill. It's just a long plane ride. I recommend. Here's the
Yep.
strategy. Here's the strategy. You half the flight you take a nap, so it's like, yo, I got 5 hours sleep. I'm ready to go when I land. Because when you land in Japan, it's most likely gonna be the next day, and it's like, oh my god, this is so cool. I want to do stuff. But then you're gonna be blasted. You're gonna be tired. So strat, half sleep, 5 hours on the plane, and then maybe download a bunch of anime and stuff for the rest of the flight. I don't know. But yeah.
Yep. I'm gonna play Vampire Survivors most likely.
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah.
We'll have our handhelds to play games.
So you guys gotta at least like sleep like half the flight though. That's like a must.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, because then
We're
you're
gonna
like ready
probably,
to go when you're
stay
there.
up a little bit before we get on the flight. That way we're tired when we get on.
Yeah.
So that
No,
should
because
help.
that's like you're rearing to go when you land. Because it's like, oh, I want to go do stuff.
The problem for us is I think we're landing in the evening a bit,
Damn.
so we won't have like a lot of time to do anything.
but,
but we
okay.
still will have night
Wait,
time
which
to go
where are you
out.
guys landing at?
Oh yeah.
Huh?
Or where are you guys landing at?
Where are we landing?
Oh,
Haneda?
Haneda.
The big airport?
Yeah.
Tokyo
Yeah.
Haneda?
Haneda.
That's like the big airport. I mean, okay, so when you first land, you could get these later, of course, at like the stations, but it's really convenient. You don't need them, but the train cards, like the Suica cards, are really good because you could put up, I think, to like
Yeah.
20,000 yen, which is around $200, but that's a lot. I'd say maybe put around like
we
10
planned on
like
grabbing that for
5,000
sure.
to 10,000 and just use that specific card just for like trains, but you could also use it at like the Lawsons or like the local marts and stuff, so it's good to have. Yeah.
Yeah, we planned on grabbing that. We were considering the JR Pass too for the trip
Yeah, yeah.
over to Kyoto, but with the price hike, I don't think it's worth it
No,
anymore.
I think. Wait, can you? I can't remember if you could use the Suica card for the JR Pass. I don't think you can. I think it's a separate thing.
I don't think you can. We have to just buy a ticket to
Yeah,
go
I think
over.
it's a separate thing. I remember a bunch of things on like, oh, you can't use your Suica card for the JR Pass or something.
Yep.
Yeah, it's that, and then the bullet
It'll be a
train's
lot
also
of fun.
separate. Yeah, you have to buy a separate ticket for the bullet
Yeah.
train. Yeah. You guys got to do that though. Like if you're gonna go somewhere far for like,
So
for like a
excited.
day trip, you gotta take the bullet train. It's so cool.
I mean, we're taking the bullet from Tokyo to Kyoto.
We did that too. Oh, so cool.
Hell yeah.
Oh, nice.
No, do you know why?
Go to the
If you're on the
Fox Village, just
specific
wait up
side
there.
on the bullet train, like if you're on the left side, I think. Please, oh, I'm praying you're on the left side because then you could see Mount Fuji on the way. Like an hour into like the train ride, you can see Mount Fuji. Like, pray for a clear day. It's so cool. Oh my god.
Oh, that'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
We're super excited for all of it, the whole trip.
Oh my god.
It's been a dream
I need
since
to
I was a
recommend
kid.
all the spots to go. Are you guys like planning on hitting like anime spots too, or like just like shopping, or just like the whole
Oh,
shebang,
yeah.
everything?
We'll probably eat a lot because we haven't eaten out in like 3 years, and we plan on eating
Oh my
out in
God.
Japan only.
Okay, let me tell you this.
gonna be the
you guys
first
are going
time
at
we
a
eat out.
perfect time. Do you know what really kills you though? It's the flight there, but once you're there, holy crap! Even it's like 2 months from now, right? Yen is still down, right? The U.S. dollar is so freaking
Yeah.
strong right now. The exchange rate is crazy. Also, remember to bring carry your passports with you everywhere, because at most shops you'll get 10% off because we're foreigners. So you get so literally the one thing about
Oh.
buying stuff here, right, is that there's tax on, so it's like 10%. So Amazon's like, you buy something, but it's like more expensive because you have that 10%, right? You go to Japan, and then it's like, oh, I want to buy a GoPro or something. It's like $400 here. It's like you already get a 10% discount, but then also at stores with the 10% discount with your passport, you get no tax, or there's like no tax on it either. Like no tax-free shops. Like it's crazy cool. So if you want to buy anything or there's something you've been willing to buy, like in America, I might as well buy it in Japan because it's cheaper and you can get it. It's like super cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's kind of not the plan, but the plan. We're gonna use the exchange rate and get our
Oh no, the
get the
exchange
best
rate
bang
is
for our
great
buck,
for the
right?
food. Oh my god, like you'll
Yeah.
be shocked on how crazy good food you can get for the price. Like $13 here gets you like pretty mid food in America, right? Like $20. $20 in Japan is like, holy shit, I'm eating good. Like it's crazy.
Gourmet.
It's like I'm
Hell
eating
yeah.
good. Like for $35 to $40, you can eat at a restaurant and get like 40 gyozas or something. It's like crazy good. It's like what the fuck? Damn.
Yeah.
We're excited for the authentic food.
Oh yeah. very excited to eat out again.
Even
and
like
try some
expensive,
stuff
like
in a
at like
foreign
a
country.
Wagyu place or like a good steak place.
In Japan, I would
Of
say
like,
actually.
yeah, honestly, I say you guys should go to like a good steak place. If you go, wait, you guys are going to Kyoto, right?
Oh, we will. We
Kyoto,
will.
right?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my god. Okay, wait. There's a good steak place that we went to. I'm definitely writing it down and sending it to you. It's so good. Oh my god.
Sweet, sweet. We'd love
Yeah,
to
we
hear it.
appreciate any recommendations.
The thing
That'd be
is,
great.
it's like expensive, but then if you look at the pricing there and then here, it would be like triple the price here.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And you'd be paying in dollary dues, and
Yeah.
it'd be expensive.
The reason why I think the exchange rate is so good is because like the US upped their prices, right? But then a lot of other countries like Japan haven't really upped anything yet. It's still like the same, but so it's just like it's going from what it was and then it's plummeting because they haven't really upped it yet, at least.
Yeah, I've heard there is some inflation. Well, not inflation, but they are upping their prices a
little
little
bit.
here
Yeah.
soon.
Mhm.
But nothing crazy that will impact us traveling there, I don't think.
Nothing crazy in Japan yet. Oh, also, I totally don't go to Japan just for like the McDonald's, but like, oh my god, Japan McDonald's is kind of slaps. It's kind of fire. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we considered getting like, what is it,
Oh,
the
yeah.
samurai burger
The
or
Samurai
something?
Mac, the teriyaki burger. Okay, some people swear by it in
Yes.
Japan. Some people swear by it. It's like crazy.
I've made
wanna try
teriyaki
it.
burgers here, and they're delicious. So I'm
Oh, but
willing
like
to give it a
imagine
whirl.
if like the Samurai Mac burger was just like better than the one that you had in America, and it's from McDonald's.
Right? That would be absurd.
Do you know what's crazy about Japan
I
McDonald's?
wouldn't be able to deal
Amazing.
with that.
Like you just walk into a
What?
McDonald's, it's like really crowded, and then also there's like 20 people in the back. It's like, damn, there's a lot of people working. It's like so much people. It's like way more than what it would be here.
You gotta get that food out.
No, it's like
they're that
crazy
popular.
fast, and it's like so popular. I think McDonald's has around like 2,200 locations all across Japan. Like that's crazy.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Why is things
feel like
more
they're
popular in
KFC too,
Japan
right?
than America? This is crazy. Like you see
I think it's a
7-Eleven
Christmas tradition.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Like you see 7-Eleven
Yes.
everywhere.
Mhm.
There's 3 big
And
convenience
it's not
stores.
just like a gas station.
Oh no, it's a whole store.
The whole shebang.
So there's 3 big convenience stores: Lawson, 7-Eleven, and Family Mart. You'll see them everywhere. If you want like a tea, a drink, even the one thing you'll find so convenient there is you could literally buy pretty much anything from a vending machine if you find it. There in Tokyo and Kyoto, there's a vending machine on every corner. It's hot there. You want a drink? 180 yen, like less than $2. You get like a Coke or something, like a water, like a tea, like a drink. Like, it's so convenient. What the?
Yeah, and you can
It's
use
so
your
nice.
Suica card too, right?
Yeah, on the vending machines. It's like what?
So convenient.
Too
Like,
convenient.
Too convenient. Honestly, like the thing is, like here, if we had, for example, like beer vending machines, this country would go from this to plummet. Like we can't have beer vending machines here. It's like no. It's like no. I
We
think
would
the
be
reason why in
doomed.
Japan too is like the culture and like how respected it is. Like it's like, oh, people are not gonna lie. Also too, it's like
Uh-huh.
that, but
Yeah.
then also it's like, yeah, it's built more on like, don't do that.
Respect and
Yeah.
We're
It's crazy
here.
how fast time flies though.
It truly is.
Like honestly,
I
like you know
still
how that
remember,
common
like, one
term
of the
of
first
like high
ones.
school? You know, it's like, oh, high school's 4 years, you'll be fine. Adults be like, it's gonna go by fast. Children, it's not gonna go by that 4 years later. That was fast.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, your understanding of time only time only gets faster, if you will, because you have more time under your
Does
belt.
time? Okay, am I crazy for
Mhm.
being like every year the year seems a little bit shorter? Like it's not, but like it feels like time progressively gets a little faster when you age like 1 year. That's just me. I'm not sure if I'm
Yep.
crazy,
It-
but like that's how it feels like.
No,
to
you're
me.
not crazy. It's
No.
it's a perception thing where because you've perceived more time, your understanding of long is now longer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So a year is technically shorter to how much you've experienced.
That's crazy, even though it's the same amount of time.
Yeah.
Time sucks, man.
Time Time's
But
a
also, it's like
bitch.
time's like the biggest enemy, though. It's like, oh, time, but then it's like we wish we could have more time, but like time's always the same, and it's like,
Yeah, we
That's
just
why
got to
they say
make the
don't-
best of everything we have.
Exactly.
this is why
Exactly.
the
Don't
saying
take it
really
for
goes
granted.
far. Every second of just being here, you gotta really make the most of it.
Yeah, enjoy your time on planet Earth. You don't have a lot.
Yeah. Do you guys ever get those like really intrusive thoughts on just like you get those it's like, oh, what if I could live past 100 years? Or it's like, but I don't really want to because that's too long. Like sometimes I'm like, I wish I could live longer, but I'm like, that's kind of too long though. Like I don't want to be here for that long. I'm like, it's too much work. It's too much effort.
No, I mean, I definitely have thoughts like that. I get hella existential all the time. So it is what it is. I don't like. I've had the same thought where it's like, holy shit, I don't know if I could be that old. Would that even be fun or comfortable anymore?
Yeah.
Just,
Or it's
just
like
put
it's
me
like,
down.
oh, my
Put me
body's
out of my
falling apart.
misery.
Like slow. It's like my body's falling apart slowly. It's like, oh. I won't be able to
I don't
be
even know
jumpy
if
and
I'll make it
energetic
to
all the
100,
time.
right? Holy shit.
I won't be able to be jumpy and energetic when I'm like 60. Yeah.
Oh, you can. You just
never
gotta
know.
keep that energy up.
Yeah.
Honestly, though.
I've seen
Okay,
some
can we put an
spry-ass
example
old
out there?
people.
Have you seen like Arnold
Truth.
Schwarzenegger at like 70? Man's like fucking built. Like, god damn. Like, fuck.
Yeah, do that. Be
Do what he's
inspired.
doing.
Motherfucker's built at 70.
He's fucking
Oh my
70
God.
and he's still finished. I'm like, what the
Arnold Schwarzenegger. I
He's
actually
old
haven't
now.
seen him since like
He got old.
forever.
He got old just like us.
Uh-huh.
No, but
We're
like
not that old.
he's actually like crazy. Like for 70, like he's like still looks pretty young. Like he looks like he's more like 60
Oh,
or
yeah.
something, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you take that much care of yourself, you know, strive to literally take care of your body and eat right every day. You're
And
gonna
put that effort
retain
in.
that.
Yeah.
Like I had no idea Steve Carell was 60.
Wait, Steve
Like-
Carell's 60?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah. It's like this dude like seems young, looks young. I don't get it. It's
Okay,
the-
can we
the
also go
energy
into
and-
like you know how like
the
okay, there's like the
liveliness.
Asian timeline of like once you're like 20, you still look like you're like 3 years younger, or it's like I don't know. It's just like a stereotype or a thing, but sometimes it's like accurate too. It's like someone looks at you and it's like you're like 17, right? I'm like no. I'm like
Nobody ever guesses our age correctly either, to be fair.
They think we're actually a little younger most of the time.
Yeah, usually they
voice
guess
is
like
also
5
like a
years
very
younger.
difficult medium. Could we also talk about how like voice in VR chat is like no way to pick someone's voice or like age? It's like you hear someone's voice and then it's like
Absolutely
oh,
not.
it's like oh I'm like 60, and then or you hear someone's voice and it's like oh I'm like 13, but what? And then like along it's like along the lines of that of like the oldest person I met in a game was also it was on Fortnite again. Like this was like 3 years ago, like two years ago, and believe it or not, the oldest person I met on Fortnite was like 70. She's like I'm old enough to be your grandma. I'm like what the I'm like that is so based. Like you're a grandma and you're playing Fortnite. Like how?
Like,
Like that's
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
We, on
Yeah.
the young person note, we met a 13-year-old in here when we were just chilling in a like a space world one time. They just popped up and rolled up over to us and started talking. But they sounded like they were 25. They had the deepest
What?
voice I've ever heard for a
I
13-year-old.
think they were 15. They were 15.
15?
Uh-huh,
Okay.
uh-huh.
Well,
Okay, but like
either
how-
way,
how
they were
does-
really young
Still.
and they sounded older than me.
How does puberty hit
Yeah.
people like a truck like that? Like damn.
That's wild.
Like no, here's the kid, here's the truck. It's like
Then the truck reversed. A bus came through. I don't know.
No, but also, in my opinion, I feel like
amazing.
at a younger age, I feel like it's better to have that higher pitched voice and then it goes like up to deep because I feel like that's very depicting of like when people or kids have like that lower voice. But then here's why having a lower voice is bad. When you have a lower voice, that means later when you go through puberty, it's going to get higher and higher and higher and higher. It's going to go the opposite way. So when you're like 20, you're going to have a high pitched voice and it's going to be like, you're going to sound like a lowly anime girl. It's like, no, that's bad. It's like, no.
Can't stop cracking your
You
voice.
can't
just
stop
won't
voice
stop
cracking.
fucking
You're like
speaking.
25 and you sound like a lowly anime girl. It's like, that's why the having an embarrassing voice at a younger age that it goes deeper is way better.
Oh yeah.
I'm very sad. That's what I like see a bunch of kids that are like have the deepest voice. I'm like, oh God, pray for your soul. You're gonna have a lowly voice at 25. I'm like, no. Man's hit the job interview. It's like, are you like 13? I'm like, no, I'm 25.
I know I sound 13, but I swear.
You guys met
Really?
Ronin though. So I'd say the
Yeah.
oldest you guys met is like 61, 68. Ronin and Robert. Yeah.
Then we
That's
have
so
met
based.
someone
Like
that old.
Ronin's like,
Truth.
I want to play VR chat because like I'm started to play because I want to keep up with the younger audience, but then also my grandkid was like, "Oh, you should play this game called VR chat because you have a lot of because he's like, I've a lot of time on my hands now, so I don't know what to do." And then with that time, he's just hanging out with his buddies IRL and playing VR chat. I'm like, that's so based.
I'm
Hey,
gonna do that
that's
when I'm older.
is that? Are they retired?
They're retired, yeah. They're recently retired. And they're
Hell
like,
yeah,
I have
hell
all
yeah.
this time now. It's like, what
That's
do
a
I do?
good retirement.
It's like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
I guess I hop in VR chat. Let's go. That is really cool.
We really need just more people that are open minded like that. Like it's so based. Like
It is really hard to find older folks who are willing to take that
like
that
it's just to
step
take
into
that chance
VR.
though. Like it's really just like it's just that like I really don't want to flame older people, but it's just the fact of like they're so fixed. Like here's the timeline. I feel like it's like, oh, you're more fixed mindset, then you become very open mindset. And then when you get like really old, it's like, oh, it just closes. But why does it close though? Like you guys got to keep it open and keep like very, it's like why?
Mhm. Just kind of like settling.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just kind of settle in your ways most of the time, I'm sure. Something similar to that. Get fearful of new.
Fearful
That
of
sort
new
of
things,
stuff.
new technology. Yeah.
I'm
I
a
think
thinker. I
end
can
it off
problem
here,
solve.
but yeah, thanks for coming on, Tiber
Yeah.
and Callenia. It was a very fun time, and
You know
Of
it.
course.
honestly,
Thanks for having us.
We appreciate you.
I think I only have one thing left to say. Since we're doing most of these in VR, I'll see the next guests or whoever's on in the virtual world.